Coming up on this episode of Down the Rabbit Hole on the Mindscaped Podcast.
I tried to make a trip up there to go and pray in Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, and I was denied entering into Palestine.
Why?
Well, that's the question I still don't know.
So where did you land?
The reasoning that they gave on the paperwork that they shared was the reason is because due to public safety, public security, and public indecency.
Well, you're going to run naked in Aqsa.
In Tel Aviv. I was partying hard in Tel Aviv. My reality is that this should be done to any Israeli coming to our land. When they land in us, they must get the same treatment that your country is doing to us, South Africa. So those are, especially those who've been in the IDF. You've served in the army of another country that has caused genocide. You cannot be given the same rights as anyone else coming into our country.
Welcome to the Mindscaped Podcast. Politics, environment, history, mental health, business, religion, people, and philosophy. Escape to the real world.
All right, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of the Mindscaped Podcast, Down the Rabbit Hole, a special edition, a special assignment. Remember that ETV, special assignment?
Why is it special?
Because there's been some interesting events that have occurred that we need to discuss.
Tell us. What happened?
I need to speak my truth.
You need to speak your truth.
I need to vent. I need to explain what happened. And I want people to understand the reality that has occurred.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, that is occurring around the world, and specifically in Palestine and in the land that is known as Israel. And unfortunately, the reality was that I tried to make a trip up there to go and pray in Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, and I was denied entering into Palestine.
Why?
Well, that's the question I still don't know.
So where did you land?
The reasoning that they gave on the paperwork that they shared was the reason is because due to public safety, public security, and public indecency.
Well, you're going to run naked in Aqsa.
In Tel Aviv. I was partying hard in Tel Aviv. And public safety, something like that. That was the reasoning.
So tell us what happened. You landed in?
So we took a flight via Dubai to Tel Aviv. This new airline, Fly Dubai, it's called. Small little flight, very decent. You buy your own entertainment. So it doesn't come with
like
free.
Safe.
Yeah, you got to buy on the screen.
Your own movies?
$5 for movies,
wow.
yeah.
I thought your own food.
No. Yeah, but it's a short journey. And so it's a short journey, nothing really hectic. So we get there, and as usual, I've landed in Tel Aviv before.
Yeah.
Previously, I went through Jordan. So this is my third trip to Palestine.
Right.
Enter into the main area. You go down this long corridor that you walk down.
I remember that.
And as you get to the bottom, then there's the boarding gates. So as usual, you wait in line. You give them passport, and they looked at our passport. They asked, okay, who are you with? And we said, no, this is all our friends and family. Said, okay, what are you doing here? Said, no, we're going to go pray in Jerusalem. They said, okay, how long are you staying? We said, just 2 nights, because we were ending up to go to Cairo. So they say, no problem. And he calls his friend, and he says, take them. So I said, okay, that's normal. We did that the last time. We sat 5 hours the last time.
It was at the same place?
Same exact place. You're sitting outside in a little chairs that they've got. They're really hard airport chairs.
Right, yeah.
And then you're sitting there, and you're waiting.
Right.
And there was no water, nothing to give you. We couldn't find any things to buy. Anyway, at that point, they say, Mr. Jamal Nazir, you come. So they call me. The guy brings me to the counter, and he says, we got your father's name, Riaz. I said, okay, I know the last time they asked that. So he said, is this correct? I said, it's correct. How long are you staying in this? How long are you staying for? I said, 2 days. Why so short? I said, listen, I'm going to Egypt after this. So I just wanted to pray in Al-Aqsa and in Jerusalem for 2 days. Okay, no problem. And then I hear his accent. So I asked, you're Canadian. And I asked him, where are you from? Because he didn't have an Israeli accent. He was like very foreign. So he says, yeah, I'm from Canada. So I thought, I've been to Canada. I've been to Toronto. And he was like, oh, wow, okay, where? I said, I went to this resort, Blue Mountain Resort. He was like, you loved it? I said, no, I really liked it. So
do you remember the last time we went?
Yeah.
It was also a Canadian guy.
So I was a big, tall guy?
On the Jordanian side.
No, not this time. This was a different Canadian.
No, not this time. I'm not saying the same guy. I'm saying it was also Canadian.
Right. Okay. So then he says, okay, go back down. So I think I go back in. I wait for a while and he calls me. He says, come. Now I go to his office in the back. There's another guy sitting next to him who's just sitting and watching you.
Yeah, watching your body.
Yeah, I think he's just watching your
Yeah,
body
like what
language.
happened
He's not
to
saying
me
much.
the last time.
Yeah, he's not saying much. He's just watching you. He's sitting in front of this guy and he starts asking you the same questions. Tell us why you're here, who you're with. Answer all those questions. He says, okay, tell me what are you going to be going to the West Bank? And I said, no, there was no chance right now. My pure focus was going to Jerusalem. He said, okay. Then he starts, and I took down the notes of this. So he says, your purpose of your trip. So I said I was coming for a prayer. Who are you with? Where are you going after? Why is it 2 days only? Okay. I said, because I'm going to Egypt. Then he says, why come here if there's a war? So I said, there's no war here. He said, you don't read the news? I said, I read the news. He said, no, I said, the war is in Gaza. There's no war here. I'm going to pray in Al-Aqsa. He said, okay, what work do you do? So I said, I'm an environmental consultant. That's my company. He says, okay, show me. Now, I didn't take my phone. So he says, go bring your phone.
Show you the type of work that
yeah,
you do.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he says, I'm sure you've got work you can show me on your phone. I said, yeah, I got a website and everything. He said, I'll bring your phone. So I brought my phone. Then I said, can I give him my website? He had a screen. He was looking on the screen. He said, no, show me on your phone. So I showed him my website and everything. Then he said, what else can you show me? So I said, I've got a folder normally with all my images from my site visits that I do. So I showed him this. I'm showing, this Chinese guy was doing bad. He was polluting the environment. And we're talking like normal conversation, no problems. He
And what the other guy is doing?
watching.
Just watching you.
Watching, yeah. He's just watching. He's not saying anything. Then he says, give me your email address, your Instagram handles, and so on and that. I wrote that all down for him. So he says to me a great clever question. He says, why do you want to go to pray here, then go to Cairo for holiday, and then come back to South Africa? Why don't you actually did it on the way
So you
out?
came to cleanse your sins then party?
Yeah, so he
Okay.
asked a valid question, right?
Yeah, very, very valid.
So I told him, look, it was the easiest flight to take just into Tel Aviv rather
Yeah.
than going through Jordan and all that, and then I could fly out. That was the plan. He said, okay. So he asked, did you ever go to the West Bank? And I said, yes, I did go on my previous trip. But we went to Nabi Musa Mosque. I said, I don't know what area that is. I went to Jericho. What did you do in Jericho? So I said, in Jericho, I went to buy, I remember I bought dates, I told him. He said, oh, you like the dates? It's a good price? I said, yeah, very good price. I bought like boxes of those dates. Really, really enjoyed it. He said, okay, no problem. Then he says, have you been to any protests?
As in where? As in
He just says, have you been in protests? So I said, I don't know what protests you're talking about. I kept it open-ended. He was broad, I was broad back.
right.
He said, okay.
So wait, do you think they had any information on you being in any protests?
I mean, look, I have attended protests as a photographer.
Right.
And because I use my equipment. So 100% maybe someone maybe took a shot or snapped and posted it. I mean, it's very possible. But I don't know if they knew that or how much they knew. But I just kept it broad.
Yeah.
He then said, so you're going to give your zakah in Jerusalem?
He used the word zakah?
Yeah, he used the word zakah. He said, you're going to give your zakah in Jerusalem? So I said, well, I mean, I'm going to be going there and I'm going to meet Palestinians. I'm going to buy from their stores, going to help them out. And I went on about how I love spices, and my wife and I like to make koftas and hummus, and we had a good time. And he's like, okay, he's just listening to that. And then he says, do you give charity? So I said, yeah, I give charity. So he says, which organizations do you give to? So now I'm thinking I've got so many organizations we give to. Now, I said a few organizations' names, local ones in South Africa. He took them down. He says, okay, now he says, can we go through your phone? I said, no problem. I had my phone there. I gave it to him. Then he never took my phone before. They took my phone. He then goes on the phone.
He asked you, you made you sign something.
No signature. I didn't have to sign anything.
So that when I was pulled out,
Yeah.
they made me sign a document initially. Can I go through your phone and your bag?
Sure.
And the document.
And your bag?
Yeah, I had my hand luggage.
Oh, okay.
And the document is basically 2 lines or 3 lines, but it literally took me 10 minutes to make sure I understood each word.
What he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't give anything to sign. Then he says, he took the phone. The first thing is put Palestinian numbers in it. And to see, he saw someone said Hebron tour guide. He says, who's this? I said, no. He took the number down. I said, as a tour guide, I was trying to get it to Hebron. I never got to go, but I wanted to go there. He said, okay. Then he went into my WhatsApp. And he typed in, obviously, the first thing he typed in was the numbers, +97 or whatever, to look at anyone else on my WhatsApp. He saw there was no one. Then he typed in the words Hamas, Hamas. Now, that's when he saw in some community groups people are posting. He did also see some of the things I think I posted somewhere where they said Hamas. Actually, it's a conversation that you and I had about was it worth it, this entire war? And I think we were talking about that, like the impacts that has happened and what does Hamas think. So he just looked at that. He didn't really go into that conversation. He then typed in, so he asked me, like, who's this group? It was Islamic Charity Network. I think we're all part of that group. And I said, no, it's a charity. People post there. Someone needs a car. Someone needs rent to pay, whatever. It's a community group. People will post whatever they post. I am not an admin on that group. He said, okay. Then he says, have you, we went to Palestine. He started typed in Palestine. When he typed in Palestine, he saw someone asking for donations, banking details for Penny Appeal. And I sent it to them. So he saw that. He says, what's this about? So I said, the guy wants to donate to Palestine. I said, okay. So that's why he asked for the banking details. And then he slides up and he sees a video that I had done to fundraise for Gaza, in Egypt, not in Palestine, for Gaza. So that's when his face changed. And he said, oh, I thought you don't watch the news. I thought you don't know about what happened in Gaza. So I said, I never said that. No, why you lied to me? You're lying to me. And he's banging the table. You're lying to me. So I said, tell me how I lied to you. And I'm asking you to. How did I lie? I didn't lie at any point in that time. So he's like riling me up. He's also riled up himself. That guy is just watching. Silent mouse. He's just watching. And he's like, tell me something. You're lying to me. Do you know it's an illegal offense to lie at any international border? So I said, I said, tell me how am I lying to you? Show me what lie did I say? Tell me. And he said, no, you're lying. I can arrest you for this. So I said, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how I lied. Then he says, he watched the whole video in front of me where he's saying fundraise and help.
Did he offer to donate?
Yeah. So then he says, who is this? So he saw Penny Appeal. So he wrote, obviously on the page, Penny Appeal. Then he said, okay, then he left that. He went into my Instagram. The first post he saw Mindscaped Podcast about second wives.
Okay.
I think that was it. And then he said, oh, you're promoting second wives. So I said, no, we're having the conversation about it in South Africa. So that's why we're talking about it. He said, okay. Then the other guy piped up. And he says, don't give our local guys that ideas. They won't like it. Isn't you allowed 4 wives? I said, yeah, we're allowed 4 wives. He said, okay, but don't give our local guys that idea. The woman won't like it. That's what he said. So then he went into my Facebook and he saw one of the posts where I spoke about the gay imam. And I think we had a conversation about it being people calling him Shaheed. And I just asked, are people calling him Shaheed? Question mark.
Yeah.
And he just took this on a roll. Oh, you think he's a Shaheed? He's a Shaheed? You think he's... I said, hey, this guy was a gay imam. I don't know. I'm just asking the question. He's like, oh, you think he's Shaheed? You believe this is a Shaheed? And I was like, no, I don't... Again,
so was he upset because you called a gay imam, imam / a Shaheed?
I was questioning him.
Subhanallah.
Then, second wives. And then he says, okay, give me your Facebook. He goes into the Facebook. He puts in some code. I don't know what he does. And he sees a whole lot of stuff that comes up. Now, this is stuff I posted many years ago, some of them even local. And then the last one,
Where did he punch the code?
On Facebook. I don't know what he did there. Because it came up with a whole lot of posts. And then he saw our conversations. He saw that. But then he saw the one about... which one was this one? A post I made about questioning. It was the Rafah siege at that time. I said Rafah siege or ceasefire. It was a question I asked. And I said, what's happening in this genocide? So he then used that and he was like, you think it's a genocide? So I said, I don't know. I just posted that. He said, no, on the 16th of March, 2024, you posted this.
Wow.
So I said, yeah, I'm asking, I said, read it. It says, I'm asking the question, is it a siege? Is it a ceasefire? What's going on? Because that was the question I'm asking. So he says, he said, do you know the ICJ? I said, of course I know the ICJ. So he says, oh, well, do you want to read the whole ICJ document? I said, well, I don't have time to read that whole document. He says, well, the ICJ document says it wasn't a genocide. So I said, well, I don't know. That's what you said. I don't know. Then he just said, fine. Then he went back and he scrolled a few things. That guy, he said something to him in Hebrew, and then he says, right, go. So he leaves me. I then walk.
Did they give you back your phone?
They gave me back my phone. I then go and sit back in that area, and the other members that were with me, they called them. They went in. They got questioned. Very similar. I was about 35 minutes or so. They were much shorter. The other male with me, he was about... 10, 15 minutes. They also asked for his phone. They also found some stuff where community groups, people have posted about the word Hamas or whatever on it like that. And then the lady that was with us also, she was taken aside to another area though, not the area that we were taken.
Right.
And was questioned for about 10 minutes.
You know why?
Yeah.
Parda facility.
But
Parda facility.
so we were sitting and waiting again, no food, no water, not really much info that they were giving. And randomly a guy comes to the two of us and says,
Completely different guy.
another guy,
Right.
you two, bring your bags. Now the other lady's bags with me, so I'm saying, hey, like these bags are here. Where is she? I said, no, she's sitting on that side. Okay, bring her bags, take it and put it into this little holding area on the side. Now it had a guard in front of it and it had a little like a rope in front of it. So we're like, okay, put it there. Then I just looked at my colleague and I said, listen, this is not looking good anyway. So we walk and we enter and we see the other female there with us. She's sitting on the side and we enter this another room with two ladies and a man, different people. She says, sit down. Then the other guy sat down. I was standing. There was only one seat there. And he says, we want your fingerprints. So we put our fingerprints in. Then they give us this form. Both of us look at the form. It's a one-page form. It says, by the law of Israel, the law of entry of Israel, or some entry of into Israel law, you have been denied access, and the reasons being, and your name, your number, your ID number, all that, your passport number. The reason being, as I said, public security, public safety, and public disturbance. That's the word. Disturbance. I was saying another word. Right? And so that was the three reasons that they gave for it. So obviously it was a shock at that moment in time. And then we're like, okay, what is this? No, we want you to sign. There's two copies. One is your copy. The other one we're going to sign. So I said, I need to read this. I read it. So I'm reading it and it's just basically saying, look, you're being denied entry. There's nothing else you can do about it. So it says there, though, you have 30 days to appeal this if you wish to. Right? It doesn't say where, how, nothing. It just says you have 30 days to appeal it. So then we ask the question, like, look, I know you'll have accepted, we accept this. Now tell us why. The lady says, I can't tell you why. So it's like, but no, we don't make this decision. It's made by the International Relations Office. They made the decision. So we said, well, we need to know like, why. Okay, then tell us, how can we appeal this? And then they say, well, you can appeal it in your embassy. So as you're walking out, the guy is saying this, like, you can appeal it. He looks at our passports. He says, oh, South Africa. Oh, you've got no embassy there, and you'll never have an embassy.
Wow.
So I was like, this seems now one of the reasons. That definitely is
South African.
You're South African. It seems like a targeted approach to South Africans. Nevertheless, we come out, we see our other friend, and we asked her, and she says the same thing. She's been given a letter. Her questioning was similar in nature, but they said to her about you traveling with other people, and we are denying them access. So what are you going to do? And without her even giving time to answer, exactly, they said exactly, and we're denying you. And her reason was immigration risk. I don't know how is that.
Maybe she was going to marry a Yahudi. We don't know.
That made no sense to me.
For passport.
Yeah, a passport. Yeah, she wanted a blue card, not a green card.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, that was it. From that moment in time, it was just a different approach. Their faces, their mentality, their treatment of us was like prisoners. Go back into that column, not telling us what's happening, no passports, no access to any information. We're just sitting there. Now we're like obviously processing this information. There was a little water tanker there, but that's about it. To go to the bathroom, you have to ask them, the guy will come with you. And that's when we saw a little, vending machine. So we said, the lady asked them, can we go and drink something? I said, yeah, go ahead and go drink. And then the only thing there was Coca-Cola. Clever guys, yeah. Now what do you do, right? Desperate times. Yeah, desperate times. Yeah. But the reality was something else. We had, and luckily we had a crystal sandwich. I must admit, the sister in our group is amazing.
Yeah.
To bring samosas and pies and crystal sandwich.
She knew.
Thank you, Crystal.
She knew.
She knew.
She knew.
It was the most tastiest crystal sandwich, even though it was cold.
Yeah. A day old.
A day old. It was super tasty. Now we were already traveling for like a day after, entire time already. Not telling us what's going on, not telling us anything. So at this point now, again, we're scrambling, and luckily the other guy with us he's got a contact with his travel agent. So he's on the phone with travel agent. Travel agent said, look, there's a flight at 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock that same night.
So you weren't charged?
No, there was no arrest, or if you look at it that way, no, there wasn't. But we were, you could call it detainment, 100%. So you are arrested because you are within their confines. They have full control over your movements. You have no
And now
freedom.
it's deportation.
So you obviously they've taken your fingerprints off. So you're pretty much in that sense. You're not in shackles. Let's put it that way. But you are in a closed area with a guard who's waiting there. You can't move out. And then we asking them questions, and then we are buttering our soft. Oh, tell us what's going on. We saw a softer guy. He was not. The other guy was drooling, and I don't know. He was like weird.
Drooling over you?
Yeah, he was just sitting there. He was drooling. I don't know. We were looking at him like, what's going on?
Yeah.
He was like drooling. He was very angry, screaming like that. And then he doesn't tell us anything. This guy says, okay, I'll go ask. And he goes ask and said, look, you're going to go stay in a detainment facility.
Detainment center.
Yo, my heart sank. I was like, what detainment center? I'm going in through.
So that's out the airport though?
That's 5 kilometers outside the airport,
Right.
apparently. So we're like, now this is not going to happen. He says, if there's no flight, then you're going to put you on that. So we look in. He said, there is a flight back to same airline, fly Dubai back to Tel Aviv that night. So we saying, put us on the flight, put us on the flight. He said, I can't tell you, I don't know, we don't know. And now we can't book our own. Like we don't know what to do. Luckily, that was about an hour or so that we sat there. And so far, this is about 8 hours now. And we're sitting in this airport on hard chairs. And we then say, okay, he says, come with us. So we see his passports in our hand. He takes us, he says, follow us. As we're walking, he's a youngster guy. Now, again, we're asking questions. Why did they do this? He says, oh, I don't know, maybe you did something. He said, no, we never did. We just came last time. The other guy traveled 25 times. So no issues. So he says, I don't know what to do. He says, it's strange. He says, it's strange. So we're like, okay, fine. We're walking with him. He ends up giving us to another elderly gentleman. We walk with this guy as well now. And we're going to our gate. He says, listen, we to put you on the 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock flight. You're going back. We're like, okay, that's a bit of a relief at least. We're not staying the night. We get to the gate. We're waiting at the gates. And now we are looking like a sore thumb. Everyone's looking at you because you're walking with police, right? The guards. And proper escorted facilities here. And we had a conversation with the guy, very interestingly. And he says to us that... so we also ask him, why is this? And he's also strange. I don't know. I can't tell you why. We don't know. But he says to ask us, like, have you had a meeting with anyone from the Palestinian Authority? And I said, no, we haven't met anyone here in the Palestinian Authority. He says, okay, maybe that's something. Then he says, oh, I used to be on the left before with this matter of Palestine and Israel.
7th October.
He says, as 7th October happened, I became on the right because of that. So I was like, yeah, there's extremists everywhere. That was my answer to him. But I didn't want to rile up anything because people are just snaying us all here, right, in the airport. So we're like, we're not making a move here. Anyway, from there, they let us first into the plane. Takes us all the way into the plane, and he leaves us there. We don't have our passport. We ask him, where's our passport? No, you don't have passports. You'll get it in Dubai. So we sit right at the back of the last plane. Bro, this was the weirdest flight of my life. All I'm saying is I was in the last lane on the left-hand side in the aisle, and I didn't sleep for 2.5 hours. We haven't slept now for 2 days. We are super tired. They bumping me. They urinate the entire flight. It's like I'm asking the air hostess in the end, so Kenyan lady, like, what's happening? She said, yeah, I was shocked. She said, the whole flight, the same people 3-4 times are going to pee. I don't know, they had like UTIs or something. Like it was really the weirdest flight. Anyway, we were so tired nevertheless. They came up and down. They gave us water. That was the only thing we got.
No food?
No food. We land up in Dubai. As we come off the bus there's a guy tall, we say Mr. Adams' family. What's the guy? Lutch. He's standing there. But I think he's a local. I don't know if he's a local or what. And he's got our passports like in this, I still remember this clear packet with a red Ziploc bag. And you can see our passports and it says, come here, follow him. Doesn't say a word. We trying to talk to him like, bro, what's going on? Nothing. He just says, come. And we walk all the way to this security office. We get to the security office, says, wait outside. Another Pakistani guy comes in. He says to us, we're going to wait for the security guys to come. I see this group of Emirati-looking dudes come in their little cabbie after about maybe half an hour. They pull in and they go in the office and we're still waiting. There's no communication, nothing else. The guy comes to us and says, listen, we're going to sort you out, but you have to pay for your flight. So what do you mean pay for a flight? He said, no, Israel sent you on this flight COD. He used the word. I was like, what do you mean? He said, cash on delivery. You have to pay us. You have to buy this flight. You must pay for this flight. It's like, you're joking. He said,
Wow.
Yeah. They deported you. You need to pay for this flight. I'm like, what the heck? So at that point, when we were sitting in this contained area, they said, we're taking you for a security check. I said, okay.
So at that time, you knew you were going back?
At that time, we knew we were going back. Yeah, he said, you're going back, but you're going to go through security first.
Right.
So we take us back to like the entrance of the airport. There's normal security gates in
Yeah.
the social bank. Now, they put their bags through and they went through the scanner. I got a pacemaker. So I'm explaining to the lady, I got a pacemaker. So she says, okay, wait here. Now she looks to my card. Where was a doctor? When you got this pacemaker? Why you got a pacemaker? So like as if she knows my medical. I'm telling her, well, Parkinson, White syndrome. She's like looking at me. Where you got it? I said, Etiquette. Where Etiquette? I said, Etiquette. I said, obviously she's not going to. I said, read there in the card. It tells you everything. So she's like, okay. So I said, I can't go to the scanner. So she says, okay, I will call my manager. Manager comes, some guy. He says, okay, when you get the pacemaker, why you got the pacemaker? What? Same questions. They said, okay, go to the area where now the three of us were with all our bags. And they make me go, which is, I've done this before in other airports, even South Africa, I think. You've got to put your hands in up like the sky, spread your legs, and you go into this machine, which does like a 360 scan of you.
That has the X-ray.
It's like an X-ray machine. So I've done that before. So I go in, the guy makes a phone call, go back in. Makes a phone call, go back in. Third time, go back in. Fourth time, he says, come back out. No, now you must go to this booth area, which is like a curtain, a drywall curtain. Small room. The guys are looking through all their bags and stuff. So I don't know what's happening with my bags. I go in this room and the guy says, I have to scan you. So he's got this wand. So he's scanning with the wand. And scanning with the wand and he says, there's something in your pocket. So have you got a weapon? I said, no, I got no weapon with me. He says, no, there's something in your pocket, in your back pocket. So he says, face the wall, put your hands up. You see now. He's scanning my buttocks area.
Right.
He's saying there's something there, there's something there.
Right.
There's something there, there's something there. So I'm saying there's nothing in my pocket. I'm wearing a sweatpants.
Right.
So he says...
But you could hear the steam beeping.
It's beeping.
Right.
So I'm telling him, I don't know what's beeping in here. So he says, you got something in your pocket. I said, got nothing. He says, I have to call my manager. I said, okay, call the manager.
Did you not check? Did he not check?
No, he doesn't want to do it. He has gloves on, but he didn't want to check it.
Right.
The manager comes, he says, I'm the youngster. Good, nice, neat tie, good-looking guy, like, sharp
Good-looking
haircut.
guy?
Yeah, like sharp haircut. Like, you can see. He says, I'm the head of security of Ben Gurion Airport.
Right. Young guy.
Young guy.
Right.
Head of security of Ben Gurion Airport. I heard you got a pacemaker. Yeah. Tell me about your pacemaker. When you installed it. Who's your doctor's name? I said, it's all on this card here. Look at the card. Okay. You've got something in your pocket. You got a weapon on you? I said, I got no weapon on me. Okay, we have to scan. So he says, face that way, scan. The scan me, it makes a beep again. He says, you got to take your pants off. So I said, I got nothing under here. I travel with, say free wheelie. I travel. So I said I travel without this. It's just how I travel. So I got nothing under. He's like, well, there's something in your pockets. What?
You generally
I generally do that. Yeah. He said, you got something in your pocket. I said, I got nothing in my pocket. I don't know what you're talking about. Look, check. I said, and then I said, you want me to take my clothes off? I don't know what to do. He says, okay. So I said, wait, no. He says,
you offered?
Yeah. So I first said, like, what do you want me to do? Like, in frustration.
Right.
So he says, okay, he leaves. Another guy comes. I'm the head of safety of Ben Gurion Airport. I said, what now? Tell me about your pacemaker. Oh my God, I'm frustrated now. So I said, he's saying there's something in my pocket. He's saying, scan, let me see. He said, yeah, beep, makes
But no one's actually checked.
No one's opening the pocket. So I went, took my hand out, showing them the pocket. There's nothing here.
What pants you had on? Any specific brand?
Sweatpants. Was it Under Armour or was it Reebok? One of those two.
Wasn't there the inside zip or no?
No. Like a normal empty pocket, sweatpants pocket. Then, where was I in a pocket? Okay. So then he says, finally, whose bag is that? So I said, that's my bag. There's a pants there. I said, yeah, there is a pants in we had not our big luggage. It was only our hand. I did have another pants in there. So then he says, oh, well, you're going to change his pants. So he gave me the pants. So the guy's standing in the room. Now, I don't know. There was another lady that came in sometime. Apparently, I didn't see anything. My back was faced.
She came and check you out.
Yeah. I had to change this pants and give them this pants. They went and
you
scanned it.
think they took pictures of you?
Yeah. No. They scanned it and gave me back this. They said, okay, come out now.
So you're naked?
No. I had to put my pants back.
Okay.
I was like, what in the world was this about? It was absolutely
Did you actually
shocking.
feel the pants though?
There's nothing in the pants.
Okay.
It's a sweatpants, like a normal sweatpants. Anyway, I come out.
You think they just wanted to get you naked?
No, they wanted to frustrate me. They wanted to frustrate me to maybe me say something that they can use against me. That's what I think it was. Anyway, I come out. The guy says, "Go through your bag." So he goes through my bags. He's checking through all of my colleagues' perfumes that they bought in Dubai duty free. No, those perfumes are 100 mils. You can't take. But we bought it duty free here in Dubai before we came. No, they can't. Not acceptable. Other perfumes they were looking.
And
through
this is as you're leaving, right?
This is
when
now
you're
we
leaving.
like going now.
Yeah.
What more do you want? They went through all my camera equipment, looking through it, shaking it like I've got keeping something secrets of I don't know what in there, shaking it, looking through everything. My vanity case that was there with all of my stuff that's disappeared. Someone chowed it, looks like, unfortunately. And there's a couple of stuff they took out from our bags. Oh, then we had the drinks that we bought. You can't take it now in. I was like, we bought it in your airport. No, you can't take it in. So I said, give me the drinks. We all drank the whole bottle from them before we had to leave.
Yeah.
Like stupid things like this. Then they still did a pat down. Made us sit on a chair and still did a pat down after all the scanning, after all the changing clothes, plus under our feet. Like, I don't know.
Sorry, you know with the drinks.
This was the weirdest
The
thing.
drinks. South Africa as well, you can't go with drinks.
But you bought it in this airport. They saw
No,
me buy
even
it.
if you buy it, once you pass security, you're not allowed to.
Yeah, but this doesn't make sense to me. It's a unique situation. We're not outsiders. We're in your area. And we bought it from you. We didn't bring it from outside. So I have no idea what this plan was of why they had to do this.
Get you naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they
They
wanted.
liked it.
Yeah.
They liked what
I'm
they
gonna
saw.
smack that ass.
Like ridiculous. Anyway, I think it was more about the frustrations to really grind you. You're
Aggravation,
tired after
yeah.
48 hours. I think they were hoping that we would say something or do something that they could use against us.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, they move us now on the plane. Okay, now we're back to Dubai. In Dubai,
But was everyone else also searched? Not stop shots, but searched.
no, they weren't such. They were tapped down and they were scanned.
Okay.
But no, anyone else wasn't as.
And their shoes off, on or off?
Shoes off, but not clothes were still on.
Okay.
And they just did a tap down and a scan and
Right.
the X-ray machine. That's about it. Anyway, we get now. So now we're in Dubai, and the guards tell us, "Listen, we don't know why, but we are told that you're not meeting these guys. You have to go to police, Dubai police." They said that's normally not what happens but they ask us to do this. So we take us a long walk to the arrivals area hall of Dubai. There's a guy. We sit down there. He says, "Right, our colleague," he calls him first. Says, "You come." He gets in there for about 15 minutes. Questions him about why did they ban you, what reason. He says, "We also don't know. 25 times I've been, never had an issue. Who are these people with you? Give us your email address, your work, and so on." And then I didn't know your Instagram, whatever account.
So literally everywhere you go, they ask you for your social media.
Yeah, I think that's a vital thing to remember. And then
But they have a way of checking things that you supposedly...
yeah. So then that guy says, "Listen, we're all thirsty." He gives us some water and so on. It wasn't really hectic. They then call me. I go in. He just tells me, "How do you know these people?" I said, "No, they're friends of mine." "Okay, write here your email address, your name, your home address, and your Instagram handle." I said, "Okay." Gave it to them. "No problem. Carry on." So he said, "Fine." I said, "Our passports?" "Carry on." So now we go back up again to the same secretary office. We're sitting there. No news. "What's going on?" "No, we're sending you back to South Africa." We're like, "We don't need to go to South Africa. We've got a return flight to Cairo." He's like, "Oh, I don't know." Lucky the agent that we had calls. A guy calls the agent, says, "The agent says I'm booking on the 12 o'clock flight the next day." Gives you enough time to rest at the airport and then take this flight because now we're tired. 48 hours gone. The guy comes and says, "Why you?" We tell him this is a booking reference. We booked the flight. "Oh, why you booked this flight?" And who told you to book the flight? And there's an 8 o'clock flight. We're putting on the 8 o'clock flight. And we're like, "But why?"
To where?
To Cairo. Why are you going on the 12 o'clock?
Okay.
So it's like, listen, just let us be on the 12 o'clock one. We're tired. We want to go rest. We're going to sleep in this Dubai
Yeah,
airport.
but was Emirates paying for that?
No,
you had to
booked
still
it.
buy
We
the
booked-
8
we paid it
o'clock.
ourselves, yeah.
No. The flight on 8 o'clock.
No.
Who was paying
They
for
were sending it back to South Africa, probably COD as well.
it? Okay.
I don't know, cash on delivery when you
Yeah.
come here in South Africa. So I have no idea on that one. Then he says, "Fine, walk with us. Come sit here. Come stand here. Come wait here." Then we go back. But anyway, they were still nice compared to the other guys. And then we get there to the airport and the guy says, "Okay, fine, I'll make a plan. I'll help you out." So he helps us out and he moves it to the 12 o'clock flight. He says, "But you're going to stay in the Dubai airport. Give them this little card and tell them that you must phone me to see which room you're going to stay in."
Oh.
We still had no passports.
Right.
We're telling him, "Now we need to buy stuff. We need a boarding pass." "No, take a picture of it." They didn't give you your passports.
Right.
Like, I don't know where else we were going to travel if we had that.
Yeah.
Anyway, We then take a pictures and we're traveling. Now we're tired. We're looking for a place to go. So we book a few hours in the hotel. At least we get a good shower and a sleep after 48 to 50 hours now that you are walking around like zombies. We have some food, we rest, and then we take that flight to Cairo.
And when will your passports give it back?
As soon as we get onto the plane before we checking in to get to that flight in Dubai, we got our passports back. When you open the passport, there is a big, beautiful red mark from Israel saying denied entry into Ben Gurion Airport. It's a big red stamp.
It just says Ben Gurion or Israel.
It says Ben Gurion, I think.
That means you only denied him Ben Gurion.
Yeah.
Think about this.
Denied, but denied entry into Israel at Ben Gurion Airport.
Okay.
So I said, no problem. I'm going to wear that as a badge of honor. Because I am not a criminal. I have not done any crimes. I have not, said anything, didn't attack anyone. I'm a human being, a citizen of South Africa, going to pray in Jerusalem, and you denied my entry for no reason, and no clear reasons why. How am I a threat to anyone? I'm just a normal guy.
Yeah.
I'm not part of any government. I'm not in any agency. I'm not in any international organization that's doing any form of activity or actions.
So you were basically just denied because South African Muslim.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have no other reason why they would do this.
We heard
yes, on my social media, I'm more active. And yes, I do charity work. That's the only two things. So either they don't want us to do charity work and help people around the world. As we said, if you watch our podcast, we speak about people from all different religions. So either it's that or they just don't like South Africans. I mean, I don't know what else.
I don't think it's South Africans. I think it's more those Muslims, because we heard a couple of days later that there was an entire group that was turned away from Israel that came from the UK. They were also banned.
So it's Muslim as well.
Yeah, it's Muslim. But the first time I went, there were 13 guys that were held in this holding area, and 11 of them got deported.
Yeah.
11 non-Muslims.
Wow.
They got deported. They were living in Europe. Christians.
What date was this?
When we went for the Palestinian race.
So, I mean, it seems like they have been doing these denials, but more often that is happening.
So what advice would you have for fellow South Africans and other people from the rest of the world that want to go and visit the Holy Lands?
Look, I firstly was hesitant to even have this conversation on a public platform.
Yeah.
And we thought about it hard. And to me, this experience is unacceptable. It's unacceptable because I was denied to go pray in Jerusalem. I have the absolute right to go and pray in Jerusalem. Just like every other Christian and Jew wants to go to this holy lands, because it's a land for all three. So we all have the right. I'm not a threat to anyone. I'm a good human Samaritan, help people, good citizen. So tell me how I'm a threat of any of this. So this is unacceptable. That's the first thing. The second is we should not be scared and feel we should not be wanting to go. We should go to Palestine. And no one can stop us because we are just normal human beings. The third thing is, if you are going though, this is my advice, is you have to become a bit more self-aware. I've explained my situation. And they asked me, did you delete anything from your phone? And I said, I didn't. And that was the truth. That's why you could find anything you wanted on my phone. I was an open book. I wasn't hiding anything. So you couldn't say like, oh, I was hiding and I was lying. I wasn't lying. The reality is all on my phone. I let you see my phone. But the reality is they're going to look at your phone.
So the one thing that you would take from this is don't lie.
Don't lie, but at the same time, if you're going to have
vigilant.
stuff that's on your phone that someone else sent to you, you can't be challenged on that.
Yeah.
You didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Someone else sent it to you. Don't
Yeah.
challenge that person. Don't challenge me. So that's what I'm saying. Clean your phone out where you can. If somebody else sent you stuff like that that you shouldn't, that they don't want you to see, then my advice would be definitely to clean your phone out there. I don't know how far they could have gone. I mean, really, this thing could have gone bad. They could have gone into emails, they could have gone into messages, they could have gone into images, they could have gone to a lot of things and seen things that maybe they didn't like.
And now you have to apply for a visa as well.
We had to apply for a visa before we went here. It was
Yeah, so that's
2000
quite
rand.
new. But that's not only South Africans, that's everyone.
They took my 2,000 rand now.
Yeah, FNB called me and said it's a fraudulent transaction.
So the advice here is to say that I want people to go. We should not stop going. the Palestinians want to see us there. This is what they're doing is also affecting the Palestinians as businessmen in the old city. All the tourism is now dead.
But with
because
that being
people are
said,
not coming.
those are like when you need to have plan A, B, C.
Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult one. If you're flying in Tel Aviv, you're going to experience the same thing. Deportation is not fun. It's tiring. I know someone who phoned me and said, bro, he actually got sent to that. He said it was a proper prison room, like a cell, with a concrete bed and a mattress. He said it for 24 hours before he took the next flight. And they can hold you, I don't know how long, once the law is.
Quite a while.
So be careful on that sense.
So if
They have been
would you say,
allowing families, and sometimes they would say, okay, the parents go, but not the kids.
Yeah, so I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah.
So
No reasons why. What reason?
like I spoke to someone and
Age?
they asked me about this, and I said, listen, if you're going with your family and kids, I wouldn't advise that, me personally.
Yeah.
Because if they split your kids up and they split you up, you need to be able to control this.
Yeah.
As in control yourself. You can't control the situation. And if you're gonna lose your head and stuff like that,
Oh, yeah.
you're in trouble.
Yeah. Allah's blessed me with a very calm mind.
And I mean, I
know
spoke
other people would have lost it at any point.
I spoke to someone now recently who
tiredness,
told me
frustration.
they're going, and they have the mindset, whatever happens by the will of Allah. So I said, okay, fair enough, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you to tie your camel.
Yeah.
So then I said, but if they take your wife and they strip search you, what are you gonna do? You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
He said, no, I'll pick a fuss. You can't. That's the reality. You can scream, do whatever you want. You can't do nothing.
Exactly.
So people should go, but be very wary of what could happen and have plan A, B, including C.
Yeah. If you're taking the Allenby border, the one through Jordan, that may be a bit of a safer option because you can then jump on a bus straight back and come out. But
To
remember,
Jordan,
you're going to have something on your passport.
Yeah.
So some people said they got the letter. Some said no letter. Some said they got the letter and a stamp, like what we had. Some said they got stayed over longer. So it's a few people have experienced. But my question to this, and I think this is going to be the controversial point, is what from here? What do I feel should be done by the South African government? My reality is that this should be done to any Israeli coming to our land. When they land in us, they must get the same treatment that your country is doing to us South Africans.
You saw the Zionist,
Unjustifiably.
You saw the Zionist conferences coming up
I
against
saw
it.
that. Yeah, Darren Kampfer spoke about it.
Yeah, and who's coming down and who's the guest speakers. And
Yeah, exactly. So those are, especially those who've been in the IDF. You've served in the army of another country that has caused genocide. You cannot be given the same rights as anyone else coming into our country. This is what the Department of what DERCO needs to do. This is what the presidency needs to implement, and the GNU needs to do this. That's if you want to have this fancy GNU. That's what it should. Why must a South African citizen go through this unfair treatment, and an Israeli doesn't get the same treatment? And Palestinians should be given free. They don't have visa for our country.
No.
They must just be given free entry. Bismillah, come in, no problem. And any Israeli coming to this land must be thoroughly checked. Did you serve in the IDF? What was your position? Where were you? How long you served? What did you do? Because we cannot have anyone that has terrorism links entering our lands. That is what I have to say. And that's what I'm going to be pushing for. And
Well,
inshallah, the next time I enter,
We're glad to have you back.
thank you. I'm happy.
We're
to be
glad
back.
you're...
And we had a wonderful time in Egypt. We did great. We saw some beautiful maqams, Imam Hussein Mosque. We saw some beautiful
We did
places.
Tarawih.
We had Tarawih in Al-Azhar Mosque. We had some good food.
Oh my God, Tarawih is something else.
Met with some amazing people from Gaza. It was a wonderful time. So alhamdulillah, Egypt softened our hearts after this.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, in those 48 hours, I was frustrated. I was probably at tenterhooks at some point, going to have a breakdown because you have to control your emotions for so many hours, not saying anything.
It's scary.
Yeah,
And
and
people
so
need to understand that.
It
It's
was
scary.
volatile. If I said something wrong that they didn't like, maybe made a funny face they didn't like, they could have used everything against me and do something. And even my wife was like saying they could plant something on you. Maybe that's what they were trying to do in your pocket.
That's a possibility.
So I was like, whoa, that's scary. Huh? Yeah, they could put stuff in my luggage. You don't know. It can go anywhere. That's the reality of it.
Oh.
But I say, this is my point. But this is what I say. By the will of Allah, I will enter Palestine when it's free. Just like how Salahuddin has entered Palestine. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu
Or
Akbar.
Hazrat Umar.
Sayyidina Umar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inshallah. It'll be free. It'll be peaceful. with Jews, Christian, and Muslims living together. No
Inshallah.
anti-Semitism here.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
That's it.
Thank you so much.